Previously on the road to Tekken 8.
We gone over information on the history before Tekken, the events behind Tekken, and the history of Tekken 2. And then it continues.
Years later.
Heihachi, now reobtaining the financial group, uses the pendant stolen by Kuminitsu and Michelle Chang to open the being known as Ogre, aka the god of fighting. The only way to keep up world peace is with an iron fist. Which is why he wanted to capture said beast. To make a powerful weapon. But sadly, the beast escapes and kills many fighters across the globe, and then we wanted to point out that Ogre killed the first king and Kuma the First dies of old age.
A few moments later.
While June gave birth to Jin and stopped Kazuya's half-self from taking over the world, she told Jin that if there were anything to happen to her, he would seek his grandpa. Dr. Sun was sent to the hospital while fighting Ogre.
Just then, by sheer coincidence,
Something happened when Ogre arrived at Jin's house. It attacked Jin and rendered him unconscious when Jin tried to battle the powerful hungry beast.
6.5 hours later.
June vanished and has gone missing while Ogre was gathering energy. And without June to protect her, the half of Kazuya's soul from Kazami showed up on a defenseless Jin in the forest and branded him the Devil Jin. After that travesty, Jin seeks Heihachi and befriends Ling Xiaoyu, who she had a crush on, like Ochako and Deku. 4
years later.
Heihachi took in the 19-year-old man. By the way, it took place in 2002. The Ogre attacking June took place in 1998. To train to see if Jin has the devil gene and get the grandson he could love or skip a generation. Jin has become a powerhouse, but began to have signs of the devil, which Heihachi feels sad, as we all can see in his arcade ending. As he was looking depressed, he throws his own grandson out of the helicopter. But despite all this, and to lure out the Ogre, Heihachi announced the third King of Iron Fist tournament as the beast searches their fighters like their energy.
What follows is a brief construction montage.
Paul Phoenix, who we talked about earlier, made it to the tournament and fought the Ogre. The battle was extremely fierce, and Paul unleashes his death punch.
Falcon Punch!
Afterwards, Paul left the tournament seemingly victorious. However, the tournament went on without him, leaving Jin to face the Ogre alone after absorbing Heihachi and changing to his true form. Jin fought, and Jin used his Falcon Punch, causing the beast to die on the floor and explode, releasing the energy and souls that Ogre absorbed and freed Heihachi, making it useless to make a peacemaking weapon.
Dead!
And when Jin turned around to celebrate with his grandfather, his father figure, he was shot down by Tekken Force units, and looking up, not understanding why a bullet flew into his skull. From a man doing everything in his power to stop the devil through something that is truly yet to behold. As Jin stood up, decimating the Tekken Force units, grabbed and smashes Heihachi's glorious bald head through the temple, opening his wings and smashing him with his foot, as the king of the Iron Fist looked on stunned.
Meanwhile,
Michelle Chang, my mom, was kidnapped by Ogre, and I, her adopted daughter, Julia, found her safe and sound after Jin defeated Ogre, and I took her home safe to Arizona where she retired fighting and told me to keep doing forest rejuvenation research. I know, that's so cute. Anyway, let's have a look at other fighters and the ones from Tag 2 that were in Tekken 3. 19 years ago, Kazuya Mishima confided some alarming news to Anna. Her sister, Nina Williams, was planning to become the guinea pig of Dr. Boskanovich Cold Sleep. And as they quarreled, Anna would miss her sleeping sister. And even worse was the fact that she would continue to age while Nina was frozen in time. And Anna went to Dr. Boskanovich and requested her to be put into cryosleep, asking to be awakened at the same time as her sister. And sensing the god of fighting's evil presence, both Nina and Anna awoke 19 years later. And Anna awoke without any side effects, but Nina had somehow lost all of her memories of Anna, which saddened Anna, because she was making an effort to continue their sibling rivalry. Now, rather than fighting Nina, Anna felt the need to help Nina and prevent her again from becoming an assassin. And as for Lei, he is a shrewd detective responsible for solving many international crimes, and he entered the tournament to investigate the cause behind the disappearing martial arts masters. After failing to assassinate Kazuya Mishima in the last tournament, Nina Williams was forced to become a test subject for cryogenetic research. And reawakened by Ogre's powers, she is determined to eliminate Jin Kazama. Paul Phoenix is a fighter who is admired by young kids worldwide. He let victory escape him in the last tournament, but has since renewed his training type with vigor. And he won't let victory slip away this time, even at the age of 46. And he still has no weak spots. Yoshimitsu is the leader of the MONTAGE clan, a notorious gang of Robin Hood-like thieves, and he entered the tournament upon learning that his friend Dr. Boskanovich needs Ogre's blood to live, and Yoshimitsu now fights to save the life of the man who once saved him. Meet Eddie Gordo. He was actually the son of a wealthy industrialist in Brazil, and Eddie seeks revenge against the organization that took his father's life and unjustly put him in prison. And Eddie joined the tournament with the intention of taking over the Mishima financial empire so that he can use its resources against the organization. Meet Forrest Law. He's living in his father's shadow, and Forrest trains at his father's dojo to achieve Law's success and greatness, and as a protective father, Marshall has forbidden his son from entering any contests outside the dojo. And Marshall's longtime friend and competitor, Paul Phoenix, visits once every few months to spar with Marshall. And one day when Paul arrived, Marshall was away supervising the building of a new dojo. And Paul insists that Forrest joins him in some training exercises, but at first Forrest declined, knowing that his father would disapprove, but Paul wouldn't take no for an answer. And unaware of Marshall's restrictions on fighting, Paul suggested to Forrest that he join the King in the Iron Fist Tournament 3, but he had to prove that he was worthy of one day inheriting the dojo. And Marshall was enraged when he found that happened to him, and to him, it was as if his son was kidnapped. Meet Huarang. He entered the tournament after Ogre attacked his mentor Beck, who Huarang respects greatly. And he wanted to redeem himself by taking revenge against Ogre and defeating Jin Kazama, and Huarang failed to beat in a previous fight. Meet King II, a young man who was raised in the original King's orphanage. And after being savagely attacked by Ogre, his mentor's dying wish was for King II to take over the orphanage. He now fights as a pro wrestler to support the orphanage. Meet Ling Xiaoyu. She loves amusement and theme parks, and her dream is to build the perfect amusement park in China when she grows up. She is both young and small in stature, but Xiaoyu is a skilled martial arts expert. Many believe she is more serious she could achieve real greatness. And having learned that the Mishima estate is rich and powerful, she seeks out Heihachi to make her dream a reality. And while vacationing in Hong Kong with her family, Xiaoyu stowed away on a yacht bearing the name Mishima Financial Empire. And Heihachi was not on board, but Mishima's men discovered her soon after the ship left port, and Heihachi was informed immediately. Upon his arrival, Heihachi found his man beaten and strewn around the ship as if it was hit by a hurricane. She threatened that she would go berserk again if he did not accept her challenge, and roaring with laughter, he promises to build the amusement park of her dreams if she wins the tournament. Meet Brian Fury, a former soldier turned officer into the International Police Organization, was killed in a shootout in Hong Kong. His corpse was transported to the laboratory of a man named Dr. Abel, and this 88-year-old scientist was fairly famous in the underground society, but his findings were often preceded by Dr. Boskanovich's. However, at last, he came to the last step of completing his master project, the cyborg army. And Dr. Abel thought that a perfect cyborg must have been the mechanics built by his rival, Dr. Boskanovich. So he reanimated Fury's body and sent him off to collect his data. And in his former life, Brian was a skillful detective, but on the other side, he was always followed by dark rumors. Investigating the Hong Kong drug trade, Lei Wulong discovered that Fury had connections with drug dealers. So he snuck into the King of the Iron Fist tournament, targeting Yoshimitsu, who has strong ties with Boskanovich. Jack also got a new upgrade, Gun Jack. Jane, who is still haunted by memories of Jack 2's fate 19 years later, works on a way to restore Jack 2, and she learns that the most of the technology responsible for Jack 2's AI was created by the Mishima Heavy Industries, a subsidiary of the Mishima Zaibatsu. And she also finds the groundwork for something called Project Gun Jack, an upgraded Jack with the addition of a pivot gun. And Jane snuck into the Mishima Heavy Industries and secretly installed the hidden program. Meet Kuma II. The first Kuma died of old age during his travels with Heihachi, and his child became Heihachi's second pet. This Kuma is smarter than his father and a good bodyguard for Heihachi. One day, when it was absorbed in watching TV, he suddenly went wild at the sight of a martial artist with a scarlet gogi. It was Paul Phoenix. And Kuma too has trained since that day to defeat Paul in battle. And it doesn't think anything of Ogre, who is the god of fighting, only of defeating Paul. Kuma II is secretly in love with Ling Xiaoyu's pet, Panda, who is aptly named Panda. Meet Mokujin. Mokujin is a training dummy made from a 2,000-year-old oak tree, and Mokujin has been kept in a museum for a long time. But when the god of fighting awoke, it gained self-identity and started to act on its own. And some people say it was motivated by the desire to help martial artists, but only God and Mokujin know for sure. Meet Panda, the protector of Ling Xiaoyu. She is cared at Xiaoyu's high school, and to participate in the tournament, Xiaoyu moved to the Mishima Industrial College in Japan. Heihachi Mishima taught Panda advanced bear fighting so that she could act as a bodyguard for Xiaoyu during the tournament. Although Kuma II is fond of Panda, she dislikes him and keeps her distance. Meet Dr. Boskanovich, a leading scientist of the former USSR. At the age of 12, he designed a new type of ballistic missile, and instantly becoming famous in the scientific world. And after losing his own daughter, Elisa, Boskanovich has been doing research on human resurrections and cold sleep machines. And through these experiments, he became active in cloning and creation of androids such as Jack. With no sense of good or evil, he works only somehow to revive Elisa. And before the second King of Iron Fist tournament, he was captured by Kazuya Mishima and was forced to do the genetic research pertaining to martial artists. However, he was also able to create a new type of cold sleep machine. He was responsible for saving Yoshimitsu from death, and Boskanovich himself was also saved from the Mishimas by Yoshimitsu. Now he is infected with a mysterious disease. In order to cure himself and to revive his daughter, he now needs the blood of the fighting god, and he is the only man in the world who knows the truth behind the mysterious fighting god in this tournament. Next time on the road to Tekken 8, Tekken 4, the black sheep of the series.
This video is a pain more than it should have, so I'm splitting
Thanks for
it
watching.
into
Don't
two
forget to like and
parts.
subscribe.